Tonight, we continue our deep dive into the issues that Arkansans will weigh in on starting next week when early voting gets underway. This election, we're voting on 4 ballot questions, 3 of which landed there because of lawmakers. We've already talked about those first 2, so tonight let's look at issue 3, which is all about religious freedom. Ballot issue number 3 deals with freedom of religion. The U.S. Constitution says there can't be a preferred religion, and the government can't keep people from worshiping how they want. But it's not always cut and dried, like when they say you can't go to a church because of a virus. Issue 3 would put in the Arkansas Constitution legal language limiting how the government's rules can impact religion, even if the rules didn't set out to impact religious beliefs. Jerry Cox with the Family Council supports the bill.
Government cannot burden your free exercise of religion unless it has a compelling reason to do so. And then if they do that, they have to do it in the least restrictive means possible.
For example, the laws designed to limit large gatherings during COVID could be deemed unconstitutional because they would limit religious gatherings, even though the law didn't set out to limit religious gatherings in the first place. John DePippa, Dean Emeritus at UALR's Bowen School of Law, says the government would then have to prove that the rule is necessary.
If the state wants to burden religion in any way, it has to meet the highest level of judicial scrutiny. What that means is it has to have a really important reason, and it has to show that there's no other way to accomplish that reason except by burdening religion.
Given the First Amendment's religious protections, you would think this specific idea would already be understood. But for 25 years, there's been efforts to solidify the concept. Issue 3 is crafted on the federal Religious Freedom Restoration Act. 21 states, including Arkansas, have a RFRA already in place after the Supreme Court ruled it wasn't applicable to states. Supporters say Issue 3 would take that rule in place and make it a constitutional amendment
that essentially guarantees the same religious freedoms that the U.S. Constitution protects. And so we have it in the U.S. Constitution. If Issue 2 passes, we'll have protections in the state constitution as well.
So why do its supporters think it's necessary?
It's much, much harder to change the Constitution than it is to repeal a statute. Putting it in the Constitution makes it more or less permanent.
So, a vote yes would support adding the State Religious Freedom Restoration Act to the state constitution. A no vote would oppose making it a new amendment, but the state law would still be in place. So far, only one of the candidates for governor has stated a clear position on the question. Ricky Dale Harrington's a libertarian. His website says, quote, "The government has no place in abridging the religious rights of people." But we couldn't find anything specific about how he feels about Issue 3. Same for Sarah Huckabee Sanders, nothing specific, but supporters of the amendment tend to be closely aligned with the former White House spokesperson. Democratic Chris Jones is against the measure. He said the state already protects religious freedom within the current laws.